Hello, my name's Rebecca Brockton and welcome to the Meet Magento UK YouTube channel. Today I'm joined by Shay Doran, VP of Channel Strategy at our silver sponsor, Barclaycard. Can you tell me a little bit about Barclaycard?
Yeah, sure. So I'm sure a lot of people, including yourself, have already heard of Barclaycard. It's a household name, part of the Barclays Group. And Barclaycard within the Barclaycard Business Solutions specifically, that arm of the company is responsible for helping both consumers and businesses to make payments and to take payments really however and wherever they want to. We go back a long way. It started in 1966. And it's really been a story of innovation from day one for us. And a big client, we built up a big client base in that period of time. So it's spanning right from SME part of the market all the way up to enterprise. And traditionally, we've been known probably more as either the credit card company or as an acquirer. But over the last few years, we've built up a wide-ranging suite of payment gateway solutions as well now, which we call SmartPay. So SmartPay is really all about security, reliability, and scale when it comes to e-commerce and gateway transactions.
And what is it that you do there?
So I work within our payment partnerships team within Barclaycard Payment Solutions. So it's my job to look at who do we partner with, why do we partner with them, whether it be to innovate or to expand, or ultimately it's really about how do we continue to deliver the both immediate and the future needs that our merchants have through partnerships. How do we do that through partnerships?
Excellent. And can you tell me a little bit about the ethos at Barclaycard?
Yeah, so going back to that innovation being at the heart of everything we do, it's how do we make payments seamless? How do we keep things as simple as possible for the partners we work with, for the merchants that we work with? How do we allow consumers to pay, however, wherever they want to pay? And probably the other part that comes with the ethos is because we're that household name, comes with a responsibility. So whether that be helping to fight fraudsters, whether it be helping to protect customer data or to make sure that we're fully compliant with the latest regulations, but also to work with merchants and partners to help them understand what that means to them and use our expertise to help there as well. But ultimately, yeah, it's about how do we make payments simple, both for merchants and for partners.
Is there anything about Barclaycard that might surprise people watching?
Two things I think that might surprise people. So we were the first company to invent a credit card in 1966, going back a bit before my time. And then the second thing is that we process 1 in 3 payments in the UK, which is massive. So last year it equated to 246 billion in processed payments for us. So it gives us a great insight that we can share with our partners and our merchants in terms of what is shaping consumer spending and the trends that we see going on in the market.
Wow, that is a massive figure. So yeah, that must be a hell of a lot of data. That's impressive. How do you feel that your company fits into the wider Magento community?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities between Barclaycard and Magento actually. It's a partnership with a lot of commonalities, whether it may be innovation, focus on customer and making things as simple as possible for them, building up a community of partners as well, and working with them to innovate and to create new solutions. I think we both have strong presence in the retail sector. But ultimately, I think it's that joint view of helping our customers' ambition to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that push forward and like innovation is probably like the big theme for this conversation, because it is at the forefront of both what Barclaycard do and Magento as well. So what do you think are the best reasons to sponsor an event like Meet Magento UK?
Well, it's our first time sponsoring this event, so I'm really looking forward to being there and just, I think more than anything else, just connecting with the community. And that's the great thing about this event, is that it brings together such a big community of whether it's developers, partners, merchants. It's this whole world of people that revolve around e-commerce that all play these different parts in the e-commerce industry, coming together to share expertise, learn more about what challenges people are facing and find new ways to work together. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Brown, absolutely. I think it is an important part of kind of cultivating those conversations between everyone and learning and sharing. How did you actually become involved in sponsoring this event?
So we've been speaking quite regularly with the Magento events team, and we saw the announcement later on in the year of the Magento Live in Barcelona, and we were just really happy to see that there was the UK event as well, which is how we became involved in sponsoring this one.
Absolutely. I think it's a big community that we've got here that loves e-commerce and loves Magento. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really glad that we're getting all together before the big event in Barcelona. What do you think makes the Magento community such an important part of the e-commerce industry in general?
I think it's just a vital part now. The e-com platforms like Magento is such an important part of the industry as the shift to e-com first continues. You just need to look at the number of merchants that choose Magento to show that. The fact that you now have really become big influencers and advisors to the merchants in terms of their needs and what will help them not just now but go on the path of growth that they go on. They look to the e-com platforms to help them in that way. So I think that would be one part of it, and the other part is it offers a place. Magento offers a place for all of those different partners, as we were saying, to come together, developers, partners, merchants, to collaborate and to support each other. And the event this week is just going to be a prime example of that.
Definitely. I think every time that this community gets together, it is special, but in the UK, it's even more special, especially to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of, as you say, collaboration between people and some new relationships built up there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think has been the biggest leap forward in the e-commerce industry so far?
I was thinking about this one. So two things. Smartphones, number one, without a doubt. I'm sure this has come up a lot of times, but smartphones have given people the technology in their hands to purchase anywhere, however they want to. And it is really, when you look at power to the consumer, smartphones is the thing that has done that more than anything. And then when you layer on top the space that we'll be moving into around AR, VR, AI, it opens up just great doors, opens up some great doors for new initiatives. Though I think the only caveat there is knowing what to do with those things. So it's okay saying, yeah, let's do AI, VR, but how do we, at the end of that, how does it simplify the customer journey? And the second thing, probably more payments related to me, would be the one-click checkout. It just made a huge shift in customer ease, and it almost set a bit of a new benchmark for customer experience. So they would be the two things for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that now we are an extremely demanding consumer base, and
right,
as soon as one retailer starts to make it that little bit easy, we expect everyone to do the same.
And we know more as well now, because it's so much easier to use, loyalty doesn't really exist in the way that it used to. So years ago, you would stick with one company and that company could be confident that you were a consumer of theirs for life. But it doesn't happen anymore now. And you can see it with new companies. Sometimes it doesn't even take a year for companies to build up a huge base of customers that are all pretty loyal to them, but it's because they do something different. They make it easier to use their platform or whatever it may be. And yeah, as a result, it's caused a massive shift.
Definitely. I read something that it was like customers will go to where it's either brilliant or easy or both. And the choice is completely theirs. Like, it's nothing to do with loyalty. They'll go to you if you are the least friction for them to buy and the highest reward. I think that it's an important thing to remember. That kind of it's sad that, that we like loyalty is a bit dead, but I think that's just how we are now, and the kind of generation that we're living in.
I think we look for, especially millennials as well, we'll look for what are the things that break the mold. So what's different, or how do we challenge the status quo? And that's happening in so many different forms, whether it may be in cultural formats, but also in technology formats as well. There seems to be this overarching trend of just challenging the status quo, doing things differently. People almost as consumers go hunting for that now.
Definitely. Like, well, yeah, you just have to look at the likes of like Uber, Airbnb, all these different things that do everything completely different to how like our parents would or our grandparents would book travel or book a taxi. And yet we love it and we jump on it straight away.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like breaking the mold. I think that is a good way to put it. How do you see the e-commerce industry actually moving forward in the next 12 months?
I think there'll be a few big, not trends, but a few big focus areas. The overarching trend will continue to be this simplicity, ease of use, international expansion. Those things will remain. But particularly, I think around fighting fraud, that's going to become quite big, well, even bigger than it is today. Big data, we mentioned that earlier on. Big data, in my opinion, hasn't really come to the forefront yet. We've seen it work well in some areas, but on the whole, I think the industry we're still figuring out what does that mean, and how do we realize what the potential of big data and the Internet of Things. We understand what it means now, but it's how do we harness it to take us on the next level, take us on the next part of the journey. And marketplaces, I think, is the other one as well. Just will continue to embed. So places like Amazon, Pinterest, Alibaba, all of these different marketplaces will continue to be not the first port of call, but they're going to have much, much more of a presence over the next 12 months. And then underlying, as I said, just the continued focus on seamless service, reducing abandonment as well. So we did some research recently that showed still 41% of consumers abandon at the very last part of the checkout, and the average basket value was just over 29 quid. So it's still a fair amount of money and a big percentage, right? 41% is still a lot of people that want to convert. Exactly. So I think regardless of all of the innovation, big data, marketplaces, things going on, ultimately that's the thing that still needs to be solved and worked on, no matter what channel or platform a merchant may be selling through. It's that conversion rate. How do we continue to work with merchants, work with partners to help on keeping to increase the conversion rate?
Absolutely. And because they say if you can improve your conversion rate by 20%, then the need for more traffic and more customers is actually a lot less, because obviously the focus has always been like SEO, trying to get as much traffic to your website as possible. But if you had to focus on converting over that, you'd probably find that it was the return on investment was a lot bigger. So there's a lot of changes happening at the minute, but what upcoming changes in the e-commerce industry are you most excited about?
I think so. I'm most excited about seeing technology come to life in store. I really like going into a store and seeing technology not just in there, but working properly and being integrated as part of the journey. So I'm excited to see more of that. It started. There's definitely some places where they have concept stores or pop-up shops where they're trialing with that stuff. But seeing this starting to happen in some of the mainstream stores now is exciting. Social media continues to just fascinate me in terms of how merchants interact with consumers platform by platform. The interactions are very different. So I'm a blogger myself, and I find that how I interact with people through Instagram is completely different with how I interact with people through Facebook or through Snapchat or Twitter. So understanding the different types of shoppers and how they want to communicate with you platform by platform is going to be really important. And also personalization is probably the third area that I would say. So it's how do we use AI really when it comes to personalization. A great example I saw the other day was Adidas, and how the storefront when you're online can change depending on what it is that you're typing into the search bar. So it just made it really personal to if I was shopping on the website. Now I'm not sure if that was a trial or whether that's their full solution, but that personalization for me, that was it in full flow. Definitely.
I think what we can learn from people just from their actions on a site, like what they type in a search box, what they click, what they hover over for a little bit longer than other things, I think will play a big part in how we expand what AI can know and learn. and actually deliver to customers that are using the site. I think it's a really fascinating place.
It almost seems a bit old school, the fact that you go onto so many websites and the homepage, it just stays the same. But nothing that hasn't really changed much today. So I think over the next 12 months, we're going to see that start to happen quite a bit. And it just almost seem like, God, why is that not already happening? Because to be able to then personalize a homepage immediately, going back to that conversion rate, surely is going to have a massive impact, not just on conversion rate, but cross sales as well.
Definitely, because obviously it's all about if people are buying, to get them to buy more, and if they're not buying, to get them to buy. So I think it will play a really big role, and I'm surprised as well that it is taking quite a while to get the adoption, but obviously it's quite complicated. It's not as simple as like, why computer don't you just know what I want?
Exactly.
But yeah, I think these kinds of conversations are really quite valuable though in pushing it forward, and there's going to be a lot of these at Meet Magento UK. Why do you feel attending Meet Magento UK is a good idea?
I think the fact that we can connect with so many different people, so whether it's merchants, whether it's the team from Magento, whether it's the developer community, Magento experts, there's just so many people there to talk to, share ideas with, understand challenges with, and the fact that it's all happening in one space, one event space, is going to be great.
The value that we can get from just actually being together is not measurable, and it fascinates me at every event I go to. I find it amazing. What are you most looking forward to about Meet Magento UK?
So on Wednesday, I'm looking forward to just sharing new ideas with people, even more so making new connections and challenging ways of thinking. So by sharing our payments expertise, by learning from other experts that will be there on the day as well, I think it's the fact that we'll be walking away thinking differently is what I'm looking forward to.
Our industry changes so quickly, and we do need to change the angle that we approach things from quite a lot, and as you say, think differently about everything. But that's my last question. Thank you very much, Shay. Have you got any closing remarks that you'd like to end on?
No, apart from that, I need to get this light bulb fixed.
just close it in the dark. It kind of ended like perfectly then. Yeah. It kind of went dark really perfect.
Maybe it's not the no likey, no lighty, and turn the lights off.
Excellent. Yes.
Right.
Oh my God. I will love that show. Wow. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss anything. And we'll see you at the event. It's so soon.